Hey everyone. So thanks for taking time to look at this step by step. It's just a tutorial on how I put together my corset style oblique abdominal section for the Death Trooper armor. So first part is going to be this rubber material. So this is the part that goes on the obliques. It's nice and flexible, easy to work with, easy to cut. And so we're going to start with this. So just keep in mind, if you're going to order this from me, the sizing on this. So it's 13.5 by 13.5 inches. So you want to kind of keep that in mind. If for whatever reason, if you're really tall and you need longer than 13.5, just keep that in mind that it might not be appropriate. So you definitely want to size this for yourself before ordering, because again, the size for me that I have is 13.5 by 13.5. So you're going to need to kind of keep that in mind ordering this. But otherwise, this is one size and easy to work with. So first step is going to be the corset. So for the corset, for me, nice and easy. I just got some elastic material, zipper on one side, zipper on the other side, and then some Velcro here. So this is going to be the first layer of the corset. The actual corset's the first layer of the corset. So nice and easy. This zips in the front. Okay, so once I have this on, the rubber will go on top of that. So I actually have a finished piece over here. So this one attaches by Velcro, so that's layer 2, and then the armor will go on top of that. So in this case, also, once this is all set up with Velcro, the armor is also going to attach to this. So once it's all done, you've got your 3 layers. You have the fabric corset on the bottom, you have the rubber here in the middle, and then you're going to have the plastic armor on top of that. So the first step is going to be getting an appropriate size with the rubber armor. So we're looking at trying to get the right vertical size, and then we're looking at the horizontal size. Vertical size is the easiest part. It's just going to be the height of your abdominal armor. So in my case, we're going to take this armor, right? So I'm just measuring from the bottom. So here, I'm going to say, so just to be safe, about 9.25 inches for me. So I'm at about 9.25 inches for my armor. And again, so the vertical portion, that's all we got to work with. Make sure this one part, so you have this little strip here, so the flat strip at the top, that's the top. So this is going to be where we're going to cut from. So in my case, I'm measuring, again, 9.25 inches here, and then that's going to be for me the point where I'm going to cut. So I'm actually going to cut it here. So now with cutting, I've tried a few different things. I tried a hot knife. You can work with a hot knife, although I'll show you this piece. For me, I messed up because I tried using a hot knife at the bottom, and at some point it turned in a little bit. The easiest thing is just using a pair of heavy-duty scissors. That worked the best. You get nice, easy lines, and by far for me, of everything I tried cutting this rubber, the scissors will probably work the best for you. All right, so I have this cut. So this is at about 9.25 inches. So once I have the rubber cut vertically, the next step is doing horizontal. The horizontal is a little bit trickier. Because of the way it fits on the armor. So for me, what I did is I basically put the front and back armor on. So you have to do this kind of with both pieces of the armor on. And I actually just had my wife outline the armor for me. So while wearing this, we outlined the front part of the armor, as well as the back part. So once I had this outline, I was able to figure out, the sizing of the horizontal portion. So in this case, once we drew it, obviously the back part of the armor is a little bit shorter than the front, but I actually just extended the line up, right? And then the same thing on the front, just with the marker. I'm just gonna make it a little bit clearer. So because I'm using Velcro, when I'm actually cutting the armor, I'm not going to cut, outline like this. I just want to give it, I just want to make a nice easy cut and give enough room, because we're going to actually be using Velcro both on the front as well as the back in order to secure the armor to the corset and to secure the rubber to the corset and to the armor. So in my case, all I did is I just need to make sure that I have enough clearance on either side. So in this case, if we think of, this part here is the rubber, I just need to make sure that I give enough room that I have enough of this to play with, and then a few inches on either side. So in this case, I actually drew a line here, And then same thing over here. I'm just going to draw a line to make sure that I've got enough armor on either side, or that I've got enough on either side. So I just want to make sure that I'm clearing both sides. And then when I actually cut, so if you see here, this actually extends a little bit further out. So this is a little bit wider because I'm going to give a couple more inches on either side. So once I come up with kind of, this is the amount of, the minimum distance I need for me, I'm actually going to increase another 2 inches on either side in order to cut this. So for me, easiest thing to do is just actually take the paper, cut it, and then match it to your armor. So in my case, you know, I would cut this, place the armor, or place this on top of the armor once I'm done cutting, and then I'm actually just going to cut the rubber to meet the size horizontally that I wanted. But again, you can do whatever works for you. So whatever works best for you. Just make sure that you don't cut too much. So always err on the side of caution and cut, you know, give yourself more room to work with, and you can always go back and fix that, but you can't, you know, you can't add, you know, this isn't going to glue back on. So if you cut too much, then you put yourself in a position where you're not going to be able to really use this, or it's going to be really difficult to work. All right, so now I have my finished rubber piece. So this is done. I've cut the sides. As you see, it kind of tapers down a little bit on either side, cut the bottom. So this is ready to go. As you see, it kind of fits right around here. It will fit nice and well with the corset. So in this case, this is from a previous build. So the Velcro is already set up on the corset. In your case, what I would do first is I'm actually gonna put the glue on the back side of this to start. So when I'm gluing it, a couple things that I did actually, I found, you know, just to make sure you have a nice kind of rough surface to work with, I actually took this. So this is just from a tape dispenser, and I'm actually going to kind of rub the sides of this. So I just use this to kind of grind into it a little bit. So, you know, don't need to do too much, but I found that it definitely helps with adherence. My kind of version 1 of this, I didn't do it and had some issues gluing. And then I found, okay, well, you know, try to think what would work for kind of roughing the surface, and this actually works really well. So again, if you have a used like tape dispenser, like a shipping or packing tape dispenser, I would just go in a little bit and, you know, rough out the surface. All right, so now that we've roughed out the surface a little bit on the back, might not be too visible, but you can feel it a little bit. And again, don't do too much. You don't want to actually damage the front by doing it. But again, once we've roughed out the surface a little bit, next step is going to be to attach the Velcro. So again, just using 2-inch Velcro, will go on either side, and then that will allow us to attach the inside to the corset. So what I'll do is using E6000 glue, I'm going to put some on each side here. Maybe give, you know, maybe 1/4 of an inch off the edge, but pretty much you want to get right on near the edge. And then I'm also going to put it here, and then I'm going to give it about 5 minutes or so to cure a little bit before actually attaching the two parts together. All right, so as you can see, I've got glue. So I've got glue on the rubber, glue is on the Velcro, and so the next step is just to attach. Yeah, I found this worked really well to keep this, because it's going to curl up a little bit. So I found that just kind of hooking them down actually worked well for me to glue these. So again, give myself a little bit of room on the sides, but put this down on one side, then take the second side. Okay, we'll put this down too again. And again, with the Velcro, I erred a little bit on the side of caution. So this is a little bit longer, but we can cut this at the end. So once this is down, we're just going to clamp everything down. Keep it nice and secure. If you have these larger clamps, it's probably gonna be a lot easier and maybe a little bit better. In my case, I can't find the rest of mine, so I'm just gonna do this. Should be fine. So we're gonna keep this down, and so basically let this cure for 24 hours. So we're actually just gonna leave this alone, so there's not much else to do except doing the same thing you can start up on the other side. In that case, once it's done, you'll have this nice and secure to the back. Again, the E6000 works great. On this side, we're gonna have some issues on the front that we'll go over when we get to how to secure the front part. All right, so I waited about 48 hours and the Velcro is now adhered to the rubber part. There are no issues with that. So I'll show you the other thing that I did is, so I had an issue getting the glue to stick to the front part. Because it's ribbed and there's not as much surface area, I just had a really hard time with the E6000 glue. You might have a better idea or a better adhesive, but my solution was just to take the Velcro and just use Chicago screws. So I drilled a hole into the Velcro and into the rubber, and I just used Chicago screws on all the spots where I was going to put Velcro on the front. So as I said earlier, I'm going to need Velcro on the front to adhere to the armor, but again, my solution, Chicago screws, works fine. And then you won't run into the issues where I was having the parts actually peel off when I just used the E6000 glue. So before I try it on, I'm going to show you a couple other things. So this is the inside of the armor. I used Tom's files and 3D printed it. So depending on what you use, you may have an easier time or a harder time finding spots to put the Velcro. But in my case, what I did with the front of the armor is I had a little piece at the top. So you can see here it kind of coincides. I have a piece at the top, piece at the top, piece at the middle, piece at the middle, and then the part over here on the bottom, that curved part, I just put a couple pieces over here. So that was what I did for the Velcro for the front. And then for the back piece, again, same thing. I have a piece at the bottom and a piece along the ridge here. And again, that coincides with the two pieces here. If you want to, there would be no issue getting a little bit larger surface area, but I felt like I don't need that much. You see, just need enough because it's already stuck to the corset. I'm not too concerned about getting, about how much Velcro I have on the front part, but that's what I did. There's a million different ways you could do it. The other thing is, and I'll include a link. So the tutorial, I used a tutorial to get to do the strapping for the front and the back parts of the trunk armor. So basically use buckles here that will allow me to connect this to the back piece, which just makes everything that much easier and just makes it feel like one solid unit. And again, I'll include a link to that tutorial. It's great, and that works well. So next step is putting the armor on. So first part is actually going to be lining up the rubber. So I like to do this. You could put the corset on first and then try to line it up, but I just find that I always run into issues with there. I don't get it quite flat or lined up. So first thing is just going to place it. It might take you a couple tries to get it perfect with the size. But again, just put one down here. Take the other piece. Same thing. All right. Then once you have those two rubber pieces on, wrap the entire thing around. All right. So this is set. So next step. So as you can see, the back piece. So this is where it would be beneficial to have another person helping you out. I'm gonna kind of just wing it and hope that I get this right. But again, if you have somebody else around, they can help out with adhering. It's a lot easier having a second person. But in this case, put the back piece on first. Then I'm gonna clip the front piece in. All right, once I have this clipped in, now I can try to connect this to the corset. So in this case, I actually lined it up well. I don't have anything showing here. So this front part's good. So on this side, I do have a little bit showing, so I'm just gonna push this off, get it in a little bit better. All right, I've got to cut this, and everything I'm doing is in various states of being painted or repainted. But as you can see, it fits. It fits great. I have good range of motion. I can turn. No issues with this. I'm not sure how the back looks, but the back portion stays on. And again, if I need to make adjustments, I can just make adjustments. But that's it. Nice and easy once you have it set up. Works great. Fits good. Next step, I'll just show you how I have this set up with the belt and with the cod piece and butt plate. So this is the whole setup. I've got the whole trunk piece. I have the belt attached at the front and the back to the armor, and then I've got the cod piece and the butt plate connected also to the bottom of the armor, and I also have a little bit of a like an elastic connection between them. I'll also probably do like a harness setup as well. But even like this, everything feels really nice and secure. It feels stable. I have, I have range of motion. I can move around. I don't feel like, any little motion and something's going to pop off. So this actually feels like a really strong setup. So if you're interested, just shoot me an email, and I'm happy to kind of give you more details and let you know how to order if you'd like to order the piece.